What's going on, everyone? We're back here on another episode of Commercial Codebreakers. I'm back with Jonathan Chacon.
Yes,
we have upgraded our camera game just a little bit for you guys. Yeah, finally. Well, we wanted to make sure that you guys actually enjoyed this before we kept putting time and effort into it. We do put a lot of time and effort into this show, and today's episode is no different. See, today's episode, we're going to be talking about syndication. We're going to be talking about partnerships. We're going to be talking about how you can grow and grow a lot faster than the average and a typical person does in real estate. There's this misconception, I would call it, this myth that you have to do everything on your own. That if you're not the one putting in all the work, you're not going to gain and reap all the rewards. And I actually believe that working with other people is probably a faster avenue to grow. What would you say about that?
So I would strongly recommend you partnering, especially on your first deals, when you're scared and you feel like you're going to be getting yourself into a lot of debt. By partnering, you're essentially splitting the risk and you're getting the experience at the same time. I can give you a perfect example for me, which was I did a 19 unit with Matt, and I was scared. Like, it was my first $1 million deal, and I was really scared. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared because I didn't want to incur that much debt.
Was that your biggest deal at the time?
At that time, it was my biggest deal.
Okay, very cool, yeah.
So I said, I'm willing to do it, but I needed a partner. That way, if something happens, I would have the ability that we both split the cost of the risk, right? So that was such a big move for me. Once I did that, then it was just like onto the races, like I got the confidence to be able to go out and do it by myself. I'm actually encountering that right now. Again, I partnered with Jake Stein on I just posted it on Facebook today. It's a warehouse deal. It's right here by Edo. It's an amazing deal. We're getting the property for $550,000 and the ARV is gonna be about 1.1 million. But I brought in somebody who's good in their field. I don't know about warehouse. I don't know about triple net leases. I don't know about that. As soon as I partnered with him, he gave me what it's gonna be worth. He brought in brokers. The next day, he brought in a broker who was gonna be able to lease the property. Yeah. He brought all his team. He literally had the environmentalists on speed dial. Well, so it was such an amazing experience working with somebody that already has experience.
And I think that brings me to one of the biggest points that there is, or like one of the biggest advantages of working with other people, is sometimes they fill in the weaknesses that you have.
Yes, sir.
We are not all great at everything. And if you think that you're great at everything, you're probably not good at anything. That's the reality. I mean, that's just the truth. It's impossible to be great at everything. But like in this situation that you're talking about with this commercial deal, you didn't know all the environmental people. You didn't know all the commercial brokers. You didn't really know a lot about warehouses, but you knew that you wanted to get into the warehouse space. And so you said, I want to partner with someone. I want to joint venture with them.
Yes.
Partner and joint venture are essentially the same thing in my eyes.
Yes, it is.
You and someone else are going to go and take this thing down, and it may be 2 people or 3 of you, but it really stops around 3, maybe 4 people max.
I don't like.
You don't really want to go beyond that.
I don't like more than 4 people, to be honest with you. I just feel like it deludes the purpose, and the whole purpose is for you to have as much equity as possible. And you have to also value your time. If you have a stake in a transaction where you're only gonna get 20% and you're doing all the work, what's the point of doing it? I think you should value your time and at least get 1/3 of the transaction just for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your time is worthless. I mean, it's
It's worthless. Oh my gosh, my time is worthless. What am I doing here? No, you're right. It's priceless. I mean, your time is the most valuable asset that you really have. And still a lot of people, they don't give it the value that it deserves, and they undervalue themselves.
Yeah.
But in this situation, when you're in a partnership, that's a huge part of it. Now, you mentioned something earlier, which was the financial part. And for anybody who's listening, I used to do nothing but single family residential, and I did them with my brother or on my own. I didn't have any other partners other than my business partner, which we were just in on the deals together. But we had some deals fall apart. And I went through a bit of a slump there where I didn't really know what I was doing. And if it wasn't for partnerships and the ability to work with other people, I'm not sure that I could have clawed my way back the way that I did. It would have been significantly more difficult to come back from that, but it was a lot easier when you got the financial backing. You've got the experience, you've got the knowledge, you definitely know what not to do now after you've gotten kicked in the butt a few times. And now you're saying, hey, look, give me that trust again. Let's build something again together. And it really works. It really helps a lot. And I think one of your first transactions you mentioned was a partnership, wasn't it?
Yes. My first partnership was with my dad, and it was probably the most valuable one because nobody ever trusts you on your first transaction until you can prove yourself and build a track record. Then all of a sudden, everybody wants to partner with you. So it's very important, I feel, that find that person that is gonna help you and guide you in that right direction, because there's a lot of rich people out there who don't wanna go and pick up stuff from Home Depot, find the contractors, deal with the contractors and do all that work. They just wanna put money and be very little involved. And to me, right now, at my point in my career, I would like to find someone. However, that person would have to bring value to the table. I recently partnered with one of my business partners, Derek Kelly. We partnered on an RV park, and it was a great. I literally partnered with him without even looking at the financials.
And I love the fact that you can look at someone like yourself who's been highly successful on your own. And I want everyone out there to really, truly get the fact that even if you're really successful already, you can still go leaps and bounds further.
Yes, you can.
When you're partnering with someone. This is a great example. Go ahead, tell the story about how you partner with Derek Kelly. A great guy to partner with, and an amazing deal that you guys got.
Yeah, so he told me he actually posted it in a group that we have with a bunch of investors, and he said that he's looking for a partner. He posted the address, and as soon as I seen the address, I asked him, I already know my values. So as soon as he gave me the address, I looked how many spaces were available. I looked at the amount of units, and I quickly did my ARV on it. So I said, hey, it doesn't matter if it's distressed, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Count me in, let's get this in.
You did the fast underwriting,
exactly.
And you said...
I said, it's all in, it's a no-brainer. I said, the ARV is over $1 million more. So I was like, let's go, I'm all in. So then we get the financials, and it was a beautiful thing. It was like making over $30,000 a month. So the whole point is, I don't want to go on a rant, but the whole point of it is that we're both working together. And what is the best thing about it? We closed on a deal last week, an 8-unit, that was just paid all from the cash flow of that other property. So now it's all house money. So now we're like, hey, we're going to be paying the payments from our account. Yeah. Because that other property is cash flowing. So now we're paying that interest payments on that 8-unit.
So you took this partnership and you went from, this is a partnership on one transaction, and you said the cash flow from this one is doing so well, I'm going to move it over here and start doing another deal with it. And so you upgraded the portfolio within that partnership to be able to do that. And do you have any other transactions that you do?
Yes. So right now we have the transaction with, so we also got a warehouse under contract. It's a storage facility that we're going to convert into a flex space. So we're going to end up putting offices and flex space. Right now we did the environmental already, and we're waiting on the appraisal. The appraisal should be on next Tuesday. And we're going to be closing that transaction, and it's all going to be paid from the cash flow. From the cash flow
from that one deal.
From that one deal. So it's like one deal can literally continue to grow if you have the right deal. So it's very important to partner. It's so important. And I didn't believe in partnerships either, but the more I am in this business, the more I realize that partners can help you elevate more and more. we're going to talk about syndications a little bit, and
we'll get into that in a little bit. But I like where we're going with this because I really want people to understand that a partnership doesn't mean that we're going to agree that you'll call contractors and I'll go to Home Depot. That's not always how it works. No. Sometimes, and most times, the most healthy ones, you've got a financial partner and you have an operator.
Yes.
And the financial partner is literally there to offer the finances, to help support the project, while the operator is going to be the one putting in the sweat equity. And I think a lot of people struggle on how to figure out how to make that work. And I think that if you're out there and you're thinking, man, how can I put a partnership together? I have no idea. The easiest thing to think of is, how do we split these tasks? How do we split these things? And don't make it to where one of us is going to go to Home Depot, like I said, and the other one is going to do the property management. No, you really want to make it to where one person's operating and the other person has a more hands-off task. Do you not agree with that?
I do and I don't. Yeah. I do believe that there's different roles, because I don't believe that all the responsibility should fall on one person. However, if, like we've talked about this before, if someone's just going to be the financial partner, then you should get paid a fee just to run the projects and do all the work. Because if he's just going to be sitting on the sidelines and you're going to be doing everything, you should be getting paid at least something, because you have to pay for your family. You have to pay for your family's bills. You have to feed your family. So it's not fair for someone to just sit on the sidelines and not, get the same benefits that you are.
Yeah.
So, it's a fair thing to say that partnerships are amazing as long as they're structured correctly. And I say this very important to y'all, please value yourself well. If you're out there working for someone, make sure you're putting the value that you are worth, which is so important.
Oh, absolutely. I think that if you're the one who's bringing in the deal, you're the one who's going to work the deal, you really have to put the value on that. Yes. And you have to come to an agreement with your partner on what kind of fees you're going to charge as a partner.
It's very important to be upfront.
Everything needs to be upfront, because the worst thing for a partnership is for these things to come up later down the road, where you're 3-4 months into the project and I've got a financial partner and I go to them and I say, hey, by the way, I'm 20 grand short, 30 grand short, gonna need you to bring that other money, but you haven't had that discussion yet. You're gonna create a really bad situation for that partnership.
Yes.
So all those kinds of things need to be upfront.
It's very important.
And
in writing.
And in writing, because when it's not in writing is when people say, we never talked about that. We never had that discussion.
So me and Jake, on the partnership we're doing right now, we agreed that I brought the deal.
Yeah.
I brought the financing. He's going to help us with the first funding to initiate the project. However, we got blessed, and my lender is going to front us the construction. So essentially, he's not really going to put anything. However, he's bringing his expertise, which to me is more valuable than a lot of things, because he's also bringing in, he has a whole crews like roofers that are for R panels and, fixing the R panels. Yeah. These are different trades that we're not used to working with in multifamily. Well, you had a different
purpose for bringing him in. You didn't bring him in to be the financial partner. No. You brought him in to give you some expertise in an area that you were not already familiar with.
No, I was not familiar with it.
It's so crazy, man, because I recently hired a guy with a lot of experience, and it's kind of like working with a partner like that, like you said. But I recently hired a guy with a lot of experience in managing an RV park. And man, it made me realize how ignorant I was to the management. Yeah, my RV park runs well, but man, it could be running so much better if I had brought in someone with experience a long time ago. And so that experience factor, that's a really big deal.
You're literally paying for someone else's experience.
Yeah.
However, it's also about, and I'm very strong on this. The partnership also is friendship too, bro, because Jake is a great person. I've partnered with you. I have partnered with many friends of mine, with Boris, with so many different people. And it's also like hanging out with friends and like going out and having a drink and chatting about the deals. And I've also partnered with Marco. Like we talk about the deals, we hang out, we go to lunch, we chat. and it's just fun, also. It's not just about making money. Obviously, that's the most important thing, but it's also the camaraderie that you have between the people that you work with.
No, absolutely. And one of the things is that camaraderie is really nice because it has extra benefits in the sense that usually when you're out with these people and they're all in the same industry and they're all doing the same kind of deals, more deals tend to bloom and blossom.
Just like what happened with Derek.
Yeah, from that conversation, you go, wait a minute. Hey, I think I want to get in on that deal. Hey, you said you have that deal. Do you want a partner on that one? Do you have the need for a partner?
Yes, exactly.
And there may be situations, guys, don't get upset if your friend says no. But it's okay to say, hey, what do you think about that? I've got a little bit of experience in that area, or hey, I've got some money.
Yeah.
Hey, can I become a partner in that deal?
Yeah.
And that opens up the door significantly for the ability to do more deals.
Well, I don't think people get, Derek partnered with me, and he also got a picture view of my business. He was able to see my whole business.
Yeah.
So it was kind of slick of him. And that's where I kind of got the idea, man, I need to partner more because, he had the ability to see my entire business. He's seen how we file evictions, how we do everything, how we bring in our property management staff and overtake a property and make it better. So how we do the construction, how we do all these different things. And it's wow, it was pretty badass. And he got access to all that. Usually people will pay to get access to those kind of experiences, And
it's just not quite the same because sometimes you pay for an education, and paying for an education, people are reading you things off a book. People are telling you things that may not exist in reality.
But also, bro, you have to realize is that you're also seeing the stuff that you get hit in the head with.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is he's getting a better than an education because he's seeing it in real life.
Yeah,
he's watching your staff sometimes struggle, but we got 100 phone calls today. The ish is hitting the fan today.
Yeah, which happens.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, which happens multiple times.
But it never happens in the textbook.
No, it does not happen. So usually the textbooks, they'll give you the best information. They'll tell you what is going to happen. They give you the real cap rates, but the real cap rates are you losing money and getting hit in the head or, so many different things happen all the time. And, it's just part of the experience. And I really enjoy having that experience with other people, So it's just fun to partner.